start recording. So everybody should have joined as well. Right, so let's start off again. So we are doing the webinar on AutoCAD layer and how we manage them. On the first question, is there a national standard? The answer is no, not for South Africa. However, if you go to the UK or the Middle East, Australia, any other place where you might be doing work, and many of our clients do work overseas, there will be a national standard. So the drawings would have to comply to those standards. We've got various ways to achieve that in South Africa itself. So if you have your own company and you want to start using it, then you might do your own thing. And that might not always be the best idea, but it might work for you. And it really depends on the scale or the type of work that you are involved in. So most of what this webinar will be is just looking at the software itself. And with reference to the national standards that are available, I'd like to show you, to start off with, an AutoCAD vertical product. This is AutoCAD Civil 3D. And when you open up a Civil 3D drawing from a South African template, with regards to the layers at least, these are the layer names that you'll see. Now, because South Africa doesn't have a national standard, we don't have anything that's South Africa specific in here. However, what you will see is a reflection of the American standard, where A designates architecture, C is civil, and so as you go through, you'll see that you also have some other designators, D, and so on. And each discipline will have its own lesson for me also to learn that with new technology comes more overheads. And so one shouldn't expect a drawing from 2006 to behave the same way in a drawing of today. It demands more resources of the computer. So that is the, I think for me that is a lesson to learn, not to expect a drawing that behaved in 2012 to misbehave today. It's a good lesson to learn, but it's the wrong platform to learn it in. I do apologize to everybody attending. It's not I envisaged. Okay, so this, you can see that we've got these. We can say, I show proxy graphics or not. Doesn't really matter. It's coming from Civil 3D. It's not Civil Designer or something like that. Okay, and then that we can close. And there we can see that the property filters are still here. Right, and let's suppose that I had, just to show you how I would use this, I was hoping to use an example, but just to show how I would use this, if I just create a new layer over here, and I put 3D in there. Where it is. Rename that one. Okay, so there's building 3D. I'll pick it up when I look in here. There's building 3D. And there's my building, so I switch out into building 3D. And then I go and create something in 3D. Okay. So I can use the two-dimensional then to start drawing up the three-dimensional. Now, this can also get quite complex, so if we want to use layer states for something like this, we can go to layer state. And we can say new, in that layer state, we can say maybe when I draw in 3D or just 2D. Okay. And then new 3D. Okay. And there we can see all the layers. So if I wanted to say, right, with 3D, I want 3D on, then I must just make sure that my 3D layers are actually on. And in 2D, I might not want 3D on. So I might make one current layer and put 3D off. I can even override colors as well. So I can say that must be red when I'm in 2D. Save. Let's update that. Yes. And let's update this. Yes. And we set that as current. Okay. Make sure about that. Here's my 2D layer state. I edit that. And 3D must be off there. Save. Okay. Three off. Save. Okay. And then over here, you can also see your layer state. So 2 should switch it off now. The interface from the layer states doesn't work that well. But over here, you can then switch on those layer states. So if you are drawing in 3D, you can switch those on. If you are drawing in 2D, then on your layer states over there, you switch them back on again. Gert straight or mind blown. Okay. Gert, yeah, it's good. I do apologize for not being able to show this to you in action, but it's good. The colors as well. So if you have, if you are drawing in layer 0, let's just make layer 0 the current layer quickly. We are drawing a few lines here. And yes, you can use advanced steel as well, correct. So that's going to be on the structural side. You'll find that your layers that you find in advanced steel, that's going to be structural. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Autodesk tool set, the Autodesk AEC collection, Gert, I take it you guys have got one of these probably. Then this is a very, very good license to have. It gives great value. Autodesk Engineering and Construction Collection. Although there is also the Manufacturing Collection, where you will find that you've got your AutoCAD tool set. So even if you don't have the AEC, the Architecture and Engineering Construction Collection, and that you'll find inside here is all the software that you will basically need to do a construction project or an infrastructure project. Where do they list the licenses? What is the collection? What? Okay, there. Where's the licenses? Included software. There we go. All right. So this license is for the AEC industry. It is the most powerful license there. Yes, it's for any AutoCAD-based software. That is correct. That's right, Pat. So you can see here Civil 3D, AutoCAD, Navisworks, all of these. So I've just been working with Civil 3D. But remember your AutoCAD license, that is now, these days it comprises of more than one license. So if you look at your AutoCAD, they call it the AutoCAD Tool Set. So when you get your AutoCAD license, you also have tool sets. So even if you just have an AutoCAD license, you're still going to have AutoCAD architecture. You're going to have AutoCAD electrical, map 3D, mechanical, not civil 3D, not advanced steel. That's part of the AEC collection. But even the architectural license will help you to generate those layers that are, because it's American, it will come out with that. Can layer states be used, for example, to isolate singular floor levels? Yes, definitely. And again, I can show that in action here. on this one. So if you are drawing, let me use civil line or civil anno and architecture building as an example. So looking at a top like this, then let's just switch off the 3D. So this layer over there you can see is ABLDG, yes. So I'm going to treat A as first floor and C as second floor. So if I switch out into say C anno, and if I draw just another rectangle exactly where that one is, to give me the outline of the building. And then if I say, all right, I draw a line across the middle, and just switch back into, okay, so here's some nice tools for you. So let's suppose that I want to switch this layer off. I can use these tools here just to switch that layer off quickly. It's the current layer. Yes, I want to turn it off quickly. And then you can use this one over here that looks like a mattress with a key on it. You can say, make that the current layer. Okay. So get to know these tools there as well. And then that is then the ground. Okay, so this one is A or ground floor, and that one is C or anno. And again, it would be easier just to say everything that is architecture, visibility, switch off or freeze. Okay, so even when you have blocks, remember your blocks, if you create a chair that is in a 0 layer, then you put that into, say, the, when you paste it, when you create it, you put it in the architecture layer. You put the architectural layer onto the block, okay? And then it will be on the ground floor. So let me give you an example of that as well. All right. So if you have, say, a chair, I'm just going to draw in the 0 layer, I'm going to draw a chair. There's my chair. And then I'm going to create a block. I'm going to call the block chair. Right. So that's going to be the insertion point for the chair. These are going to be the objects. Okay. And then if I say to this that it must display by layer, that's fine. Okay. So then we switch this out and we say that that's going to be now on layer, so we can actually match properties. All right, that's excellent. Yeah. So there you can see this is a block, right? But it is now existing in the ABLDG layer. And if I copy this, so that's why the 0 layer is also so useful. And we match properties over here into there. So I can still do an attribute extraction on this. Okay. So if I want to see, say, one of the floors, then I just go, okay, I want to switch architecture off. So I go visibility off. And then it shows me the layer on top. And then if I do this, then of course I'm working on the C layer. So immediately when I've got this presentation, then I can go and create a new layer state. So I go to my layer states and I say, all right, new, and I'm going to call this C for argument's sake, okay? And then I say, okay. It should be, let's see when we edit it, all those layers should be switched off. All the A layers are switched off, right? Okay. Another way to have achieved that, if I've got multiple categories, is I can say, you can invert the filter there. Okay, so if I click on architecture and you invert the filter, then it will show you everything that isn't applying to architecture. And then if you say visibility off, then on, then it will only exclude the architecture. And you can do the same thing with civil as well. So if you want only the civil layers to be on, then you would look at the civil layers, right click, say visibility on, visibility frozen, thawed. Then you invert the filter, and then you say everything that you find here, switch off and freeze. That didn't take it. Let's just select them like that. And we can just switch them off, then the current layer off, like that. Right, so you can select them. If you invert the filter, then you'll see what that looks like. And if you look at all of them, you'll see everything that isn't C is now switched off. So you can use the filter inverts as well to isolate elements that don't comply to the filter and then set that layer state up. You can say, right, so this must be C. Let's update that. Yes. Those. Okay, so that was C. And again, we control the layer states from here. And then we do an opposite thing for architecture as well. You can invert the filter. You can select everything that we see here. They're now switched off. Yes, and then switch the filter back. And then we say visibility on and thawed, like so. And then we create a new layer state again. And there we say new A. So look at that. Everything that isn't A should be switched off. C is still switched on. That's not what it should be. So that's all on. Invert the filter. And we just switch everything off. This also off. And the current layer off. And then we update that layer state. A. Update. Yes. Close. So if we switch this out now, A. Oh, it didn't take it. Why not? Let's just edit it quickly. All C is switched off. Everything is switched off. That looks correct. Save, C, edit. Everything except C is switched off. That's correct. Okay. Okay. The layer over there, we've got A and A as well. So these are both A, of course. This one is 3D. Okay. And let's get rid of this 3D item over there so it doesn't confuse us. But there we can see that just by switching out the layer states from A to C, now I'm on my next floor. And I can copy this as well. Okay. So there I can start working with my different levels. But imagine now this is a column and I'm on my I'm on the other floor, and I just use my layer states to switch out again, and I copy this somewhere over there, say, and then I want to know are the columns on top of each other, so I just switch out into normal 2D, and there I can see no, this column is not on top of that one, I must move it on top of this one. And because you can filter these out on the viewports now with your viewport, you can just go in here and then you can choose how you want to set up. So you can say freeze the layers that you don't need. So that will be your first level, your second level. You zoom into everything there. There you can say, okay, what I don't want to see here is the other level there. So now you've got both of your levels printed, even though do the layer stated Sorry. Okay, so I see there's a few questions that came in. This is the best thing. This is the best thing I've ever learned in AutoCAD since properly for drawing management. Awesome. Okay, then the multi-escape key always work. I'm not familiar with the multi-escape key. That's not something that is familiar to me. If you can give me a description of that, I will try and do it. Out of interest, do layer stated project through on XREFs? Do they port through? So layer states do only exist, as far as I know, they only exist within the project that you've got. If you have an XREF coming in, can you control that? You should be able to control that. Let's just try that quickly. We can save this drawing and start a new drawing. You can bring this in as an XREF. And then you can see if we can control that quickly. File, new. It's a very good question. When things go wrong in CAD, equals multi-escape. I'm not familiar with that. It's interesting. It's something I'll look into, but it's a joke. Okay. 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 There's lots of CAD Jacks around. Okay, top left corner, escape. Ah, yes. So I'm actually more of a Revit junkie. Okay, so I do a lot of management and so on. That's right. Yeah. So that is Revit coming through. So okay, let's quickly insert this as an XREF. So we'll attach a DWG, a drawing from desktop. There we bring it in. Here's my drawing one. We bring it in, open. We can put it at 0. All of this looks good. It's an attachment, that's fine. And view extents. Will it come in? Doesn't look like it. Attach. Drawing, open. Specify on screen, yes. Okay. Why is it not showing? We can try overlay here. It should be showing. Okay, let's try that again. Insert. Attach. The overlay and the attachment is really if it travels with the drawing further. It's not wanting. It's doing something funny here. I do not understand. Okay, we can try that. I don't know if that will make a difference, but let's try it. Insert, attach. Let's rename this. Just call that one. I'm going to insert this manually. Specify on screen relative path. There. Unit meters. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. Yeah. So for some other reason, it didn't like the automatic input into the origin location. We can move it into place. There is the drawing that just came in. Drawing name is the same. I'll remember that as well. It's also new to me. So layer properties manager, there are the layers. In this case, you would have to use the you can see it's got the file name 1 and then the vertical symbol and then A, and then what you can see is that the property filters didn't come with it, right? So that is something about AutoCAD that doesn't. You have to start from a template where that is, or from an existing drawing where that is the case. Even if you had to try and see from your from your design center, it is not something that you can transfer. Right? So even if you wanted to transfer this from the design center, it would not work. And that is a pity. There's the design center, but you can see that from the desktop. Why? I don't always make this all that friendly. Okay, so I know that you can't transfer this. So while your layers and your blocks and so on, you can transfer from one drawing to another one. You can't do that from the design center either. So it is something. I know there are some online codes that you can download maybe and do that, but I wouldn't always recommend just downloading codes to save these layer states and these layer properties out. With the layer states, at least what you can do is you can export them. So there you can see the Xref layer states. So they do come through. Let's test them quickly. So if I go and I switch on with my layers the layer states, and I go to 1A, they do work on the Xref. So that is amazing. Ulrich, that is, I think, is it Ulrich that asked? Yes, so the drawings, the layouts weren't paper-space. Of course, they wouldn't come through, but it is possible that it thought that because I was on the current layer space, that's actually a very good point, Rubelli. I think that is true. Yeah, so yes, the layer states do come through. The property filters don't. And I think that's just something that you have to remember. Let's look at the Xref layer. Again, you can see that the property filters don't come through. So the property filters are something that's managed within our templates, but the layer states, at least, they do come through. So at best, what one would be able to do is use property filters within the Xref. If they're common to both drawings, it would make it easy to manage. But then we can encapsulate those within layer states, and the layer states do come through with the Xref so that we can control the Xrefs to a large degree by exercising that option. I'm going to have a look at the time. I see I'm actually running over. So for the guys that need to go, thank you very much for attending as well. From my side, if you guys have further questions, you're always welcome to contact us. The one thing that we didn't get to today is the layer translator, and that's just that if you do have a drawing that you need to manage, then you've got this thing called a layer translator. If you have a standards file that you keep for your company, then you can choose that from this to that. And let's suppose that your colors, you've got the same names in both files, then you can map them across. So from this one to that one, from this one to that one. If this thing is named something, you want to map that consistently onto something else. So let's suppose you've got the UK standard, you want to map it onto the American standard. Or you've got a company standard, you might want to map it onto another company standard, then you can use this translator to translate that drawing into the drawing that you want. Ulrich, thank you very much for your input, Gert, and the rest of the guys. It's been great having this website with you. Gert, thank you for the information. I'm very glad to hear that, Gert. Thank you very much for the input. So guys, have a great day further. Good luck with this COVID season of ours. The vaccine is on the way, and so maybe our industry can also get going soon. Everybody, thank you very much, and give us a call. Like I said, if you guys need assistance, just feel free to give us a call. Have a great day. Cheers. Thanks for being. Have a nice day.